Guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk a little bit about homeschooling. I have a couple of videos I want to do about homeschooling. We're wrapping up the year now here shortly. I got an 18-year-old who's graduating this year. He's finishing up his last few assignments, getting that all done. And we're going to be taking him out to a nice steak dinner. There's a restaurant. It's a high-end restaurant, and he wanted a steak dinner. And, at this place, and he wanted to take some of his friends with him, and I said, okay, we can do that. And so, congratulations on graduation. I saw this restaurant, and I'm like, oh, they've got fiddleheads. They're sautéed fiddleheads. I have never eaten a fiddlehead before in my life, and I'm like, oh, I've heard of other people eat fiddleheads. People who I think they live up north. We don't get a lot of ferns down here. Fiddleheads, if you don't know, is like a baby fern, I believe. But I've heard about how good they are, and at this restaurant, they're serving them with steak, which tells you that this restaurant is high-end enough that they're not getting all of their food off the Cisco truck. I like that. But if you eat at restaurants that actually make food, who have actual chefs in the background making food, it's going to cost you because that food ain't cheap. If you shop at like Olive Garden, or most other restaurants, even the nice ones, they get all their food off the same Cisco truck. Okay, it's all in a box. It's all in plastic. They don't actually make anything. All the chefs do in the back is just throw it in pots and heat it up. So I'm like, the fact that they have fiddleheads tells me that didn't come off a Cisco truck. I seriously doubt. If you work for Cisco and you let me know that they sell fiddleheads, I want to know that, but I doubt they do. Okay, anyway, let's get into this real quick. Homeschooling, right? I have long said you don't need to send your kids to college anymore. Definitely don't need to send your kids to public school anymore. If you send your kids to public school, they're probably going to be dumber off for it because the public school system isn't teaching your children what they ought to be learning in life. They're not preparing them for life. And so there's an article that came out today that drove this point home. Your kids aren't learning anything. Let's take a look at the article. Over at the New Yorker, a very liberal, left-leaning publication, it says, everyone is cheating their way through college. ChatGPT has unraveled the entire academic project. Chungin Roy Lee stepped onto Columbia's University's campus this past fall and by his own admission proceeded to use generative artificial intelligence to cheat on nearly every assignment. Oh, good night. As a computer science major, he depended on AI for his introductory programming classes. I just dumped the prompt into ChatGPT and hand in whatever it spat out. By his rough math, AI wrote about 80% of every essay he turned in. At the end, I'd put on the finishing touches. I'd insert about 20% of my humanity, my voice, into it, Lee told me recently. Most assignments in college are not relevant, he told me. They're hackable by AI, and I just had no interest in doing them. In January of 2023, just 2 months after OpenAI launched ChatGPT, a survey of 1,000 college students found that nearly 90% of them had used a chatbot to help with homework assignments. In its first year of existence, ChatGPT's total monthly visits steadily increased month over month until June when schools let out for the summer. That wasn't an anomaly. Traffic dipped again over the summer in 2024. Professors and teaching assistants increasingly found themselves staring at essays filled with clunky robotic phrasing that, though grammatically flawless, didn't sound quite like a college student or even a human. College today is just about how well I can use ChatGPT at this point. Sarah, a freshman at Wilfrid Laurier University in Ontario, said she first used ChatGPT to cheat during the spring semester of her final year in high school. Sarah's name, it says, has been changed for privacy. Because, you wouldn't want the university to take back your degree. My grades were amazing, she said. It changed my life. Sarah continued to use AI when she started college this past fall. It isn't as if cheating is new, but now, as one student put it, the ceiling has been blown off. Who could resist a tool that makes every assignment easier with seemingly no consequences? And what have we said here before about no consequences, no accountability, no justice? If you have a complete and total society with no consequences, no accountability for their actions, they will do whatever they want. And see, here you can go into a college and pay for basically you're just paying for your degree, because the artificial intelligence will basically complete all of your assignments for you. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to learn anything. You just type in the notes, type in, what the subject is, and poof, hit the enter key, and boom, there you go. There's your assignment. Just copy and paste. Easy. I don't have to do any work. Now I can spend college doing, all the parties and all the other stuff I want to do, and I can spend about 5 minutes before class putting together my assignment and submit that, and I'll be good to go. I think it's a mess. This is a complete and total mess. And it's one of the reasons why people are homeschooling. Guys, you don't need to go to the college. You don't need to go to public school anymore. You don't need to do anything. They're not going to learn anything. Parents who care about their children are already homeschooling. So if you really care about your children, you don't send them to college where they're just going to party and waste 4 years away learning nothing, and you're going to pay a big bill for ChatGPT to earn a degree in your child's name. Now, instead, you can take that child and prepare them to enter into the workforce, prepare them to learn things that actually matter, and then, send them on that trajectory instead of sending them to college. You can't see. So I got in trouble years ago at the Doug and Stacy event, which is coming up again soon, by the way, in Vandalia, Missouri. There's a link to that on my events page at AmericanHomestead.com. Go there and check it out. But I was talking about solar power and being your own electrician. And a man got up and was very angry with me and said, "You're going to get somebody killed." I said, "No, I'm not. Because if you do your own research and you do it adequately, you can learn how to do this. You don't need to be a journeyman. You don't need to be licensed. You don't need to be bonded. You don't need any of that nonsense. You can learn this stuff on your own because the internet is full of information that will teach you how to do it properly, safely, and effectively. You can do all this yourself. Guys, do you know that there is nothing a doctor learns at medical school that you can't find online? Do you think you need to go to medical school to be a doctor? You are sadly mistaken if you do. Not to mention, internal medicine is in the doldrums of human existence anyway. That's why I push these books anyway. I'm like, this is my doctor. This is my ER. This is my hospital. So I tell everyone, go to the Patreon and get this. It's for $1. You can get this. But it's like, every single thing they're going to teach you in the first 4 years, especially at medical school, even in some of the, the stuff I have to go to after the 4 years of medical, you're going to learn all this. You can learn all that online. You can learn it all. It's all out there. You don't even, there's nothing that the universities today teach that you can't find online. Which, again, is one of the reasons why I believe we are living in the last days, because it says in the last book of Daniel, let me bring the Bible in here for a little bit, just for a second. Daniel chapter 12, that it says that knowledge will increase at the time of the end. Daniel chapter 12. We are living in the day of the internet. They don't even know how much information is out there anymore online because they can't calculate it. There is nothing the college is going to teach you that you can't learn through a simple Google search, or now just going to ChatGPT and asking them about that topic. It's pointless. It's completely and totally pointless. If you want to send your kid to a trade school, you don't even need to do that. You can learn all that at home. Your kids let's just say, for example, your child wants to be a plumber or a welder. You buy him a welder, you buy him the plumbing stuff, and you put him in front of YouTube, and you say, here you go, learn that. And you're going to learn it through experience of doing it on your own. And you're probably going to learn it with a lot less bureaucracy that a trade school is going to teach you, because they have a fair share of bureaucracy as well. And it costs money when you can learn it specifically for free. You think I'm crazy? Actually, not that long ago, just a year ago, there was a plumber who's got about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. So it's an okay, nice sized channel of an official plumber, licensed plumber. And he reviewed a number of homesteads, off-grid homesteads, and their water configurations. And he reviewed 3 of them. One of them was mine. The other 2, he's like, these aren't really good. This is not so good. But you know what he said about an American homestead?
Fantastic job.
How do you think I learned that? I've never done plumbing before. I've never done any of this. But you know what? I went online and I researched and I learned from others who have done it before and who have done it right. If you do not possess that level of intelligence to go out and research and do the things and look at people who, the most successful people all throughout history were primarily successful because they also surrounded themselves with other successful people. If you have that level of intelligence and to know that you don't know everything, and the way you learn something is to surround yourself with people who do know those things, you're going to do okay in life. But if you don't have that level of intelligence, if you just send your kids to public school and to the colleges where they're going to use Chat GPT to get all of their assignments completed and get their grades and get their diplomas, the process will repeat itself over and over again, and stupid continues to hurt. You don't need college, guys. There's nothing college can teach you. There's nothing it's going to teach you. Stop repeating. Insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Look at the result of our society today. Sending your kids to college. Everyone in Washington, D.C. has been to college. There's proof positive it doesn't work anymore. What more can I say? What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. But like I said, these books, if you buy these on Amazon, you're going to pay at least several $100s. And sometimes the price fluctuates up to as much as a couple $1,000s. It's full of color photos. It's got all the plants that are probably growing in your backyard. I give this to all my patrons for as little as $1 a month. This is my medicine cabinet. This is my hospital. This is my doctor. It was written over 100 years ago by a guy named Dr. A.B. Howard. The Rockefellers did a lot of damage to get all of this information removed over 100 years ago so that they could patent and sell a lot of chemical cocktails to you as medicine. This has always been real medicine, going all the way back to Bible times, all the way back to ancient Egypt. This is what humanity used, and it worked. You know the reason why you can't find root beer today that's made from actual sassafras? Because years ago, the FDA mandated, mind you, that you couldn't use sassafras because it was dangerous. Why did they mandate that it was dangerous and you couldn't use it? Because they discovered that actually it would treat a number of STDs. It would treat a number of medical conditions. And they wanted you to buy their medicine rather than going to someone who dug up a tree root and used it to cure whatever problem you had that it, I think it was gonorrhea was the thing that it cured. We don't want you doing that on your own. We want you to pay us money for a specific patented medicine that we will sell you. So you're no longer allowed to make sassafras root beer because we want you to think that it's unsafe. It's a scam, folks. This thing is a giant. You're living in a dream world if you think that the medical establishment has your best benefit in mind. No, they see you as a cash register. A cash register. Ching, ching, ching. Over 100 years old. Get this stuff. I give it to all my patrons for as little as $1 a month. Plus a whole bunch of other things. I have videos out there that show you how I do my butchering, cow butchering, sheep butchering, all kinds of topics on that. And then ham radio communications. I also uploaded recently an entire video on a chicken coop tour. We have a Mac Daddy of all chicken coops and the blueprints to go with it. So you can download the blueprints and look at them. Also, blueprints for our smokehouse is on there, free for download for all patrons. You're getting a whole lot of great stuff at patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead if you join. I really appreciate you going over there. And all my patrons, I really appreciate all they do to help support the homestead. All right, guys. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait.